بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. فقال الملك إني أرى 7 بقرات سمان يأكلهن 7 عجاف و7 سنبلات ف7 سنبلات خضر وأخر يابسات يا أيها الملأ أفتوني في رؤياي إن كنتم للرؤيا تعبرون. قالوا أضغاث أحلام وما نحن بتأويل الأحلام بعالمين. فقال الذي نجا منهما وادكر بعد أمة أنا أنبئكم بتأويله فأرسلون. يوسف أيها الصديق أفتنا في 7 بقرات سمان يأكلهن 7 عجاف يأكلهن 7 عجاف و7 سنبلات خضر وأخر يابسات لعلي أرجع إلى الناس لعلهم يعلمون. قال تزرعون 7 سنين دابا فما حصدتم فذروه في سنبله إلا قليلا مما تأكلون. ثم يأتي من بعد ذلك 7 شداد يأكلن ما قدمتم لهن إلا قليلا مما تحصنون. ثم يأتي من بعد ذلك عام فيه يغاث الناس وفيه يعصرون. صدق الله العظيم. Yes, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. We are back to 41, I believe, yeah, 41. That is the ayah we did not really left under last time. Yusuf alayhi salam is in jail, prison. He has 2 friends. These 2 friends, maybe more than 2 mentioned in dialogue here. They are chatting with each other, and Yusuf alayhi salam is applying dawah on them. And they asked a question, and he promised that he would answer to that question, so calm them down a little bit, cool them down. Then he did dawah himself, mentioning a few his own personal things, and not going into detail his personal things, but he said that I am a person who left back people who were worshipping idols and had a lot of gods, and so he, beginning from him, his own thing, then shifted to like ideological thing, dawah, iman, which is good method. So then he continued quite a bit, like nearly 1 page to a half page. Now he is coming to answer. Meantime, he mentioned, as you know, that jail before food is served to you, I will answer. So food is important thing, time-wise, for people who are in jail. They give a lot of importance to food because that is one of the important things which they have connection with outside of that cell, of that room. History of jail in Quran, how to imprison people, how to treat them, and that is interesting subject for the ones who, these are just elements of that, those things, how to treat people, how to be guardian, how to be in charge, and how to be in prison. Here, he is saying to his two friends, Ya sahibay sijni, all my comrades, my friends, sahib, Imam Sahib, Persian, in Persian, like a friend, respected, all my friends, Ya sahibay sijni, the people who are my two friends of jail, in jail, sitting. Amma ahadukum, this is my answer. One of you has two, one of you, ahadukum, he will be serving as a waiter, serving alcohol to his master. That means sometimes later one of you will be released and he will be serving to in the kitchen, in catering department of the royal family, and himself will be serving, offering alcohol or khamr, drink, beverage, to the ruler, to the king. Of course, he would not offer with his hands, filling his hands. So what about glass? What about cup? So there were cups, there were things in which they could put this bottle or this alcoholic thing. Is that the real alcohol forbidden today, or a word which means something else? Possibly this is real alcohol, which were available. So history of intoxicants. And in the past, Pharaoh's time, Yusuf alayhi salam's time, and in East and West, is also something Muslims may take interest and to know the detail, to put the Quran and Hadith in perspective. For that, you need to know bigger picture. Muslim scholars need to be raised that way, as I touched many times, as something normal, normal from my perspective. So, one of you will be released. He will be working in the kitchen, catering department, and he will be in person serving alcohol to the ruler. I will draw your attention to something here. فَيَسْقِي, he will give, offer liquid water. Saqa. Saqa means to feed, to water, to give water. Saqa, saqaya, siqaya. In Mecca, I mean, before Islam, historically we don't know when it began. Maybe I don't know myself now, but perhaps it's written in the books. There is a job of taking care of Zamzam water, and a family was assigned to that from father to son. Siqaya, watering, taking care of water. Water is very important. In my early years, when I was in Khandak Sakaria, in the city, from village to Khandak one day, I saw a soldier having something, a cup at the back, like backpack type of thing, and I was told, he was soldier, military somewhere over there. He was Saqa in Ottoman Turkish, meaning a person who is Saqa, who is in charge of providing water to the soldiers. Of course, too many people sitting over there under the sun, or somebody needs to provide. In those days, human being, in war, watering, like Mecca, Kaaba, Siqaya. Here also we see that somebody is in charge of watering or taking care of water in terms of providing water to the ruler. But after that, what is said, فَيَسْقِي رَبَّهُ, he is going to water his Rabb. Rabba, Mushaddad, his own Rabb. Who that Rabb is? Ruler. So it is very interesting. The word Rabb, which is Rabbul Alameen, which is Lord, is used in Quran for human being. That is why, I mean, people say like that here, they don't know, we don't know Quran. 2 days ago, I met someone, his name is Rasul, but I said Abdul Rasul, and it came out from my mouth, so he got angry out of it. I said, I'm sorry, I did not properly remember your name, but he said, well, how can I be Abdul Rasul, slave of Rasul, Prophet? Of course, I did not agree. Ya akhi, Rasul may mean prophet, but at the same time, in Quran, in some other part of Quran, it is a messenger who takes a letter from here today, somewhere. It is also Rasul. It is not Rasul Muhammad, but it is Rasul Hassan Hussein, somebody else. So it is, I mean, there is allegory, there is metaphor, there is whole Quran, whole literature are full like that. I mean, nowadays, jumping from one saying to another, somebody used to say Khuda Hafiz. Khuda means in Persian, like God, Persian, yes. So Hafiz is protector. So now there is a trend, Allah Hafiz. From my perspective, Khuda Hafiz is totally okay. We know Allah is very special word, very important word. But people are using other words in the history, whole history. Don't use that one. I mean, today somebody is like excuse me, not snobbish, but something like I am doing most correct thing, something like that. Too ridiculous, too individualistic interpretation, or not fitting in general perspective for which will be followed by a real, well-established scholar, tolerant, understanding knows. So look what we are seeing. فَيَسْقِي رَبَّهُ خَمْرًا. His waiter, this person will be giving water or khamr to his Lord, who is Rabb, which is totally interesting here, totally meant king, ruler, not God. This Quran, interesting. So words have not one meaning, more than one meaning.
Also, the word Rabb is referred to the father of the house.
Yeah. Rabbul Bayt, of course, in Arabic, Rabbul Bayt, Rabbul Mal. In Mudaraba, there is Mudaraba, you see, technique. You put your money, give someone, you can give your money someone, so he will invest, and he himself do investment with your money, and when he earns anything or loses anything, whatever is it, you will share loss and profit together. So you are Rabbul Mal. Rabbul Mal means owner of Mal, means the one who put capital but did not work himself. Other guy is working. Mudarib. I mean, it is there in literature. This trend of tashadduq in Arabic, trend of strictness, I mean, like we are better, like this is what we understand is okay, but others wrong, is too narrow type of a little bit hurting other Muslims type of thing. You see, hurting. It is not good trend from my perspective, especially when you are living in a very multicultural community. Everybody from back home, different understanding. It is really, it is an important point to have a tolerant knowledge, softness, to hug, to include. Bigger, and people will be rewarded according to their intention, their thing. فَيَسْقِي رَبَّهُ خَمْرًا وَأَمَّا الْآخَرُونَ. As to the other, so there were two friends, second one, others, فَيُصْلَبُ. صَلَبَ, سُلِبَ, يَسْلُبُ, يُصْلَبُ, صَلْبُ, to cross, to execute, to kill someone on the cross. Salib is cross. Salib, from this word. Salib. Because it is like, you know, Jesus Christ, like that is like cross. Hands, body, like cross. You know, in Christianity, this cross, whether it is totally like the sign of plus, like that, equal from the middle, or at the top, cross like that, like T, near T. They are arguing in different denominations, and when you check this form and shape of cross from Encyclopedia Unity, you perhaps see 15, 20, 30 different types, different, they also, but main thing is somebody put on the cross to be, this is the word, salib. Salib means cross. Ahlus Salib, crusaders. Ahlus Salib, people who are people of cross. Ahlus Salib, crusaders. Of course, it may mean here in America, I mean, big gathering for Christianity purposes, something But in historical sense, West going to East to get back Jerusalem back to Christianity out of the hands of Muslims, Crusaders. Muslims, Turkey, the country I'm coming from, the Muslim country which was nearest to West and Europe suffered a lot, because they were the people who need to be stepped on first to go to Jerusalem. So all Turkish history, I mean, like people have been defending Jerusalem against these waves of Crusaders coming with the intent from West, with the intention to go to Jerusalem. I would say in those days, each family lost their father, their mother, somebody to death. We remember only today's disasters, Bosnia, Kosovo, which is okay, nothing wrong with that, very good. Muslims must take care of each other and must be concerned about each other. But history, what about history? In history, I mean, people were killed like right and left. Somebody was telling about Mongol invasion of Baghdad. He said, I read recently some books, a friend, I was telling them, I was very much really shocked. I never knew what happened that time. When I read this book 2 or 3 days ago, that chapter, I was very much scared. I mean, thanks to Allah, we are there, we survived, otherwise they just cleaned this Ulagu and Mongolian invasion in the history. Muslims in Spain exterminated. Muslims in Spain, after 7, 8 centuries living there, finished. Why? Inner fight. Inner fights. Thanks to Allah, today there is America, superpower, and balance, so nobody is that much attacking anybody, not letting United, let them get out something like a little bit, balance is there or something. Otherwise, if somebody attacks another body, another person, who would do what? So when the other one, as to other one, I am telling you, فَيُسْلَبُ will be executed. صَلَبَ صُلِبَ يَسْلُبُ يُسْلَبُ باسم مضارع مجهول. فَيُسْلَبُ فَتَأْكُلُ he will be executed. Hung. He will be hung. Then فَتَأْكُلُ we eat. الطير birds in رأسه from his head, like will be left over there, these vultures and birds which they like to eat any flesh, they will be coming there picking it. This person, second person, was carrying bread earlier in his dream. So that dream was interpreted like this. Bread in his head, bread will not be there, but his head will become bread after that. 2 birds. And the other one saw in his dream what? Squeezing grapes. That squeezing grapes, but expression was, I am squeezing juice or alcohol. May grape with the intention to be made alcohol or wine. This is what he said. that part interpreted, he will be serving wine, khamr, serving wine. So there is a mystery, some secrets in the way of interpretation, dreams, and dreams had to be interpreted as dreams had been seen or dreamt, and the way the person tells you. Words are very important. Look, birds were eating, I was carrying bread at the top of, then his head became bread. This was the interpretation. And he will be executed. Execution was not dreamt, not mentioned that is the end. In order to be flesh of a person be eaten, he must have been dead before. So it led interpretation, ta'bir al-ru'ya, which is Yusuf alayhi salam is very much specialized. Pir, he is pir. Pir means like master, big guy. Persian pir, not English pir, not English P-E-E-R, not that one. Definitely that word comes from pir, pa, ya, ra, in Persian, in Urdu, in Turkish, but pir over there is means master or guide or big guy or leader or pioneer, first person. So this is like the interpretation of Yusuf alayhi salam. Qudiya, it was decided. Qadaya, decided. Qada, qadaya, qudiya, was decided. Al-amru, the issue, the problem. The problem is being decided, is decided. Allazi, that thing, that issue which fihi, you were, they were, fihi, in it, tastaftiyan, you were getting fatwa. You, my two friends, tastaftiyan, you two, fataya, fataya, fatwa, istaftaya, mustaftiya, yastaftiyu, yustaftiyu. يستفتي يستفتيان يستفتيون تستفتي تستفتيان يستفتين تستفتي تستفيان. Getting fatwa, asking fatwa. You two were asking about two things. View, fatwa is view, religious view, a dictum. This is it. I am telling you, this is precisely what will happen. It has been already decided, taqdeer. Allah has decided. It has been finished. This is the decisive thing, word will take place about the subject you two asked me. Waqala, said. Now Yusuf alayhi salam is talking more. You know, they asked questions, they patiently waited, and they got the answer. The answer was short, precise, to the point. Yusuf alayhi salam did not say the second one, like bad news, you will be executed, something. Did not say avoiding, I mean, in a style like not telling whole story, half story, or hinting, and didn't do. He dealt blindly and truthfully. He told him that you will be executed. So that is finished. So he answered to their question. Now his desire, his request is coming, Yusuf alayhi salam. He was approached for something. He satisfied them. Yusuf alayhi salam satisfied his friends. Now he is putting something to be done by others. Waqala, he said, Yusuf alayhi salam, للذي, to person, ظن, he guessed or he believed, أنه that, ناجي, نجية, is saved, najat, who is saving himself, minhuma, from these two. From these two persons, one will go to death, one will be saved, serving to the king. So, because king is the top man, has authority in that, now he is telling to that one who will be surviving, Uzkur, mention me, my name. In the presence, Rabbika, your master, your master. You mention my name, your master. Now, he is telling him, since you will be very near to that ruler, serving and going, coming, picking, bringing glasses and taking glasses and perhaps bringing other things and taking glasses, it will not be once a while thing, it will be regularly, you will be doing that. You will have direct relation with the ruler. Can I request you something? Uzkur, you mention me, my name, عند ربك, in the presence of your master. Connections. He is trying to establish connections, Yusuf alayhi salam, or connections, relations and connections. Whole world is rotating about on that. If you have good connections, if you have good relations, no problem. No problem. You will always navigate, even in your worst situation. You may turn things in your favor. Relations. Our relations begin with what? Like name, friends, establish friendship, mention the name of the person who is not there, so let them be remembered, let them in the hearts, in the minds of the people. They may need tomorrow, next day, so that, yeah, somebody was mentioning the names. It is working, whole world is working like that. Believe me. So, you mention my name in the presence of your master, but what happened? Because possibly Yusuf alayhi salam was like individually doing something to have good relation, to establish good relation, kind of a little bit forgot that there is Lord, Allah, He works His way, who this guy is, yesterday's prisoner, now serving in palace. فَأَنْسَاهُ, let him forget. The guy forgot. He get released. Story is not mentioned here. He was released. He was trained. He was taught all protocols, how to approach, how to hold these glasses when he is approaching to the ruler and king. This ruler and king may have other friends, how to serve, where to begin, how to do what there. When he was trained, but meantime, Allah let him forget. Shaitan let him forget. Shaitan misled this person, and Shaitan let him forget. Forget Zikra Rabbihi, remembering and mentioning to his master, mentioning the name of the Yusuf to his master. He forgot. Shaitan let him forget mentioning the name of Yusuf in the presence of his master. فَلَبِسَ. What happened? فَلَبِسَ. Waited, stayed, like Mekese. Who? Yusuf. Physically in jail, because his intention was to come out from jail. This was the purpose. Bid'a, a few, sinin, years. Not one day, not 2 days. It costed him years. This is the word bid'a, means the number between 3 and 9. 3 included, 9 included. Bid'atun or bid'a sinin. So we don't know how many years, but we know not 2 years. We know that it is not more than 9 years. But it could be 3 years, it could be 4 years, it could be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Because this word means a number between 3 and 9. Interesting word. No equivalent, no synonym in English. So, few years, but that few, I mean, lower limit is 3, upper limit is 9. Poor Yusuf stayed in jail a few more years. وقال, said, al-Malik. Now a story, new paragraph of this story is emerging. What happened? This person forgot, so it went on and on. Later on, what happened? This ruler himself saw a dream. They were discussing what is the interpretation. Then this guy, who was released from jail, ex-prisoner, new waiter, new servant, remembered the story that he was in jail. Somebody interpreted his dream, and that somebody told him, Yusuf told him that he needs to mention the name of Yusuf, his name, in the presence of people remember, people forget. Forgetfulness is human thing. Remembering also is human thing. But remembering of something has a factor to remember. That is, something similar when happens, you remember. Because the subject was dream, interpretation of dream, at the beginning when he was in jail. Now when the ruler saw dream and interpretation of dream came into subject and discussion, now he remembered, because same subject, dream and interpretation, Now he remembered previous thing. So, I mean, you remember, I remember, something we come across now remind us and make us remember nearly similar things happened years before. So that is the perhaps some kind of inspirational meaning of this ayah. وقال said, الملك ruler, إني I أرى seeing, I am seeing سبع بقرات in a dream. I dreamt The following is what he is telling to his people. Sab'a baqaratin, 7 cows, cowboys. 7. Simanin, fat, sanin, fat ones. I saw in my dream, there were cows, fat, well-fed, well-bred, well-established, good, healthy, 7 of them, cows. Yakulunna. These cows were eaten up. Who were eating? What was eating? 7 other cows. Ijafun, lean or thin, hungry. So there were 7 cows, fat, 7 others which were not fat and hungry. They were eating up these 7 of them, fat ones. This is what I saw. Dream is dream. Strange, it is dream. And this is what I saw, and some more. وَسَبْعَ, 7. Sumbulatin, like wheat, ear of wheat, where these grains of wheat grow. Khudrin were green ears of wheat, green. There were some, yabisatin, dry. So 7 ears of wheat, and also some more dried ears of wheat. This is what I saw in my dream. Ya ayyuhal malaw. Now he turned to his people, his entourage, people around him. Parliament, malak, group, chief of staff in the house, in the palace. Ya ayyuhal malaw. O malak, aftuni, give fatwa. Tell me the view, fi ru'yaya, about my ru'ya, my dream. Tell me my dream, about my dream. In kuntum, if you are, للرؤيا, for dream, ta'burun, interpreting. If you are capable to interpret this dream, if you are eligible for interpretation of dream, tell me what is the meaning of this. I don't know. So he asked his dream be interpreted. Qalu, they said, entourage people said, adghathu ahlam, adghathu pieces, ahlam, hulm, just dreams. Hulm means dream, but at the same time, a meaningless, senseless, nonsense type of dream. I mean, having no meaning. Everybody says, this has no meaning really, that's not dream, it's just nonsense. No meaning pieces of dream. Here and there. So, we are not bi ta'wili, interpretation الأحلام, of this type of dreams, بعالم, no. We don't know how to interpret these things because it has no meaning, no nonsense. It is nonsense, no sense. So they could not interpret. The people who were in that profession, and they came to the picture and they told the ruler that we are unable to interpret these ones. How we qualify this type of thing? Nonsense, meaningless, senseless, no meaning for them. وقال, now this person overheard, perhaps, what is going on. He said, الذي, a person who نجا, survived, منهما, from these two prisoners, the ones who were in palace. He said, he spoke, وَالذَّكَرَ, he remembered. Dhakara is coming from zakara. Zakara, remembering. But zakara, just a little small explanation. This is zakara. Zakara, remembered. We added one alif here. Is takara. جمع اجتمع. Alif ta. At the top alif, two letters are added. Grammar. I mean, some of the students, they may remember. So it becomes إذ تكر. جمع اجتمع. قتل اقتتل. So, look what happened. Because these ta, these za, إذ تكر, very difficult to pronounce. That ta, very near pronunciation. This turned to dal. This ta turned to dal. Id tekere. These two made one. Iddakara. So result is iddakara. This one. This word. Iddakara. Arabic grammar. Arabic. وقال الذي, he said, نجا, who survived, منهما, from these two, وذكر, and remembered. ذكر, remembered, same meaning. بعد أمة, after ummah. Ummah, time. Very strange word. It has a lot of meanings. One of the meanings, look, time. After sometimes, ummatin, بعد حين, بعد وقت. After sometimes, but that sometimes at least 3 years. At least. So, after sometimes, he remembered. Remembered that there was a friend whose name is Yusuf, in jail, who was very qualified in interpretation of the dreams, and he had told him that he must remember his name or mention his name in the presence of ruler when he is serving. This guy forgot. It is human thing. When you are in stress, in jail somewhere, you plan, you do, you get. But when you come out, you get relaxed, you don't remember, don't care about your friends. It is like that, arrogance. Quran says in other part of the world, many times, when you were in sea, boat, waves, you were like nearly drowning. Oh, Allah, 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 Ya Rabbi, Ya Rabbi, Khalas, Ikhlas, 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 save us. And when human being saved and everything calm down, forgot. وَنَأَى بِجَانِبِ أَعْرَضَ, he turned away himself, human being. وَنَأَى, just left and gone. As if he was not same person who was begging and asking Allah. So, you want to bring people to Islam? Calamity. But calamity after calamity, if you want to keep always them there, too costly, too bad, human nature. People, when they are relaxed, when they are comfortable, luxurious life, don't remember Allah. فإذا أردنا أن نهلك قرية أمرنا مترفيها. When we want to destroy a country, a city, a land, a village, Allah says, we order the people who have a luxurious life, مترفيها ففسقوا فيها. They go through fisq, they go out of the line and limits. فَدَمَّرْنَاهَا تَدْمِيرًا, then we destroy them. So, these earthquakes and others here and there, is that punishment? According to Islamic theology, yes. We don't say everything all the time is a punishment, but yes, one of the reasons this may happen could be punishment from Allah. But in some part of the world, some alims, when they said this is punishment, they ended up in jail, because that was interpretation of the natural thing according to religion, whereas secularism in that practice in that part of the world so strictly understood that that was against secularism to say anything like that. So they are suffering in jail. There are some Muslim countries where some Muslim scholars, because they said that this earthquake is punishment from God. So prosecutors correct them. You are against secularism because you are interpreting natural things based on religion. No. Religion cannot be the subject of any interpretation for a natural thing and for a government thing, for a state, because secularism is there. In that type of secularism, of course, it is difficult to understand from outside, but the ones who know what is inside, insiders, I know what that means. Yeah, it is. Unfortunately, that is what happened. وَذَكَرَ بَعْدَ أُمَّةٍ. He remembered after some times, and he said, أَنَا me أُنَبِّئُكُمْ, telling the news. I am telling you a story, بِتَأْوِيلِهِ. I am interpreting, I am going to inform you the interpretation of that dream, but not myself. I will bring interpretation to be done by someone to you. فَأَرْسِلُونِي. You send me. Send me where? To jail. Allow me, let me enter jail, prison, and grab my old friend in jail, tell him, and let me bring his interpretation back to you. This is what he said. I think I will conclude here.